Hey guys, it's Monday afternoon, about 2:30. It is freaking cold out in my shed, so I'm in a new location. I'm in my kitchen. I am going to be shipping from here today. Just so it's someplace warm, because I put my heater out there and it just wasn't. I just have like this little radiant heater out there, and it takes like 3 to 4 hours. And I got out there and it just never got. I mean, I can feel it was warmer, but nowhere near the temperature it needs to be. I insulated it too well, so it's holding the cold inside and not letting it get out. So I need a little more powerful of a heater out there, I guess. But it doesn't really warrant putting anything out there because it's almost never this cold in Florida. We got a total of I'm gonna say 42 new orders going out as of right now, because one is a chair and one's an item I can't find, and I do have two other orders I wasn't able to find, but I don't feel like searching because it's so daggum cold. So just to show what we've got here, this is a fanny pack. It is like a lambskin leather fanny pack. Nothing really too crazy, but I thought maybe I'd get like $10 for it, and it sold actually for $14.99 plus shipping. So that was crazy here. So I'm probably gonna go off camera a little bit, so don't mind my mess back here. Just for the way we have everything set up here. This is new old stock. This has never been removed. This is a Hot Wheels Power Loop from, I think, 1990. Yeah, 1994. Still had wrapping paper attached to it, I think, at one point. This sold for $124. I was supposed to go back to the flea market. That guy has supposed to be getting me a lot more cool sealed stuff, and I never did. Never ended up going back. I haven't been back to the flea market, I think, since I bought. That's probably from the last time I went to the flea market. And that's probably been before Christmas, maybe. I need to bring a lot of this stuff closer here so you guys don't have to wait so long for me to find my items. I thought they'd be a little bit closer to reach, but they're not really in reachable. So bear with me. Sorry for the delay. Don't mind us chickens. If you hear a screeching, the bird's in here next to me, so she likes to sometimes be quiet and sometimes be loud as all get out. She gets excited sometimes. Don't you, Bubbles? Probably gonna ignore me now that I made mention of her. Sold this CD. It's like a techno dance electronica type music. Sold for $3.39. From a big buyout a couple years ago. Some more Lapstick. This is truffle teas. Sold for $11.99. This little, like, it's not a Hot Wheel, but it's like Hot Wheels. I don't know what you want to die cast car. I just picked it up because it is Volkswagen, and it's kind of cool because it does have like this little trailer hitch on the back that's not broken off. I think all the other ones I saw had that trailer hitch broken off. This is actually made by Play Art, so they made some knockoff Matchbox of their own. This sold for $9.99. Just because you have Volkswagen collectors, man, they're gonna buy it no matter what it is. We sold a European motorcycle license plate. This is only one I had of this one. This sold for $23.24. I need to go hit up my guy and let him know I'm running a little low. But I haven't really sold any. That's the first European plate I've sold since before Christmas, I want to say. I am not going to pick this up because it is super doggone heavy. But this here sold. This is a Vice. It is like 43 pounds I weighed. It is seized up, or the head doesn't move, or something's wrong with it. I don't remember exactly what. So I sold it for parts. because if you were to try to find this one, it's like a $300 Vice or something like that. But I sold it. I took an offer of 110. I think I had it listed for 150 or 160. But I've had a bunch of lowball offers about a month ago. Like people offering me like $25, and I think one person offered me 60. So this is probably, and I felt it was fair, and it's staying here in Florida, so the shipping costs are gonna. I'll probably not lose out on shipping costs. Like if this is to go to California, I would probably lose out. So I figured 110's fair. I think somebody's asking me if the teeth need to be replaced. Where can I find them? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a tool guy. I don't repair tools. I just find them and sell them. Some people expect you to be an expert. Some polka music. Music for non-thinkers. The Sauerkraut Band. And it's got the thinker in the background. I wonder if they flew all the way there just to take that photograph for their album. That sold for $7.99. This is a rangefinder. So I've had like 15 messages on whether or not this thing works properly, and I told them I have no clue how to check this out. That's why I'm just selling it as we find it from the estate. I'm selling it more as a collector's item than I am as a usable item, because this thing is probably from the 1940s, 1950s. It's sold for $20. CDs. This is the original Pearl Jam release of. Is this Versus or? Yeah, Versus on Digipack. Kind of a unique case. Most of Pearl Jam 10 came in the standard case, but almost every other Pearl Jam album came into some kind of funky case design. And this is, I do believe Versus ended up coming out in a normal traditional, what we call a jewel case. But the first pressings came out this way. So this sold for $13.99 because it is a little bit harder to find it in this Digipack case. We sold some more beanies. These are some Valentine's Day. This is Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and Valentine's. It's still actually factory sealed, so I never took them out of this packaging. They sold for $13.11. These are amazing. These are some Japanese prints. I want to say they're paintings on rice paper. So this is like a bird and some flowers, and this one is some more birds and some flowers. I had them both listed separately at $50 each or so, I want to say. They ended up selling for the pair at $71.98. I bought them as a pair and they sold as a pair. That's pretty cool. Still got to figure out how I'm going to ship that without them getting damaged. I'm not sure if I'm going to roll them up and put them in a box or not. So I sold a Batman glass the other day. So I sold yet another Batman glass. And they bought two. So I actually I was at 4. I gone a long time without having any. And then I sold one. And then now I've sold 2 more. So now I'm down to just one Batman glass. They bought both of these at $16.18. We sold a card, a sports ball card. These are Franklin Mint. This is a gold card encased. Troy Aikman. This is number 1, I believe. Could be wrong. Of the series. But this card sold for $11.69 for Troy Aikman. Came from a storage unit Jen bought when we first moved here to Lakeland. It was a bad unit, but the sports card saved us. It's a Japanese glazed from the 70s coffee mug. This sold for a whole whopping $6.09. I've had that in the store for a while. I like these coffee mugs, but they don't hit or miss on how well they sell. This one has probably sat for quite a while. Yeah, that is right. That is right. Yep. I sold this Spider-Man for $100. Spider-Man. Look how big he is. He is massive. This is him up next to me. He is 31 inches. I have no idea how I'm going to ship this. Even when I photographed it, I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to ship that. I hope it doesn't sell. But it sold for $114.99, so I guess I got to be ecstatic about that, right? And
What's sold?
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even remember it selling.
I don't even
Or
remember listing it.
I think I had Clayton photograph it, though.
Okay.
Then Steve McQueen bullet sold for $4.06, which is really weird because I just had all my Blu-rays on sale. They could have gotten it on sale, but they didn't. Some more Winnie the Pooh plushies sold. This is Easter, Piglet and an Easter egg, and rabbit in a rabbit outfit, which is kind of goofy as heck, right? Why would rabbit be in a rabbit outfit? Oh no, gopher. Okay, that makes more sense. Gopher is in that. Pride and Prejudice sold on DVD. It is still factory sealed for $6.74. Here's another good big sale here. This is a Pokemon playmat. This is a very limited one that you can only get from some exclusive thing or another. I don't know. Clayton knows. He traded a guy that he knows that had gotten this. This is exclusive to Hawaii. Yeah, guys played it a little bit. You can see it is used. It sold for $224. Sold a board game. Which this guy asked me. I posted in the description that the game's complete. You can actually see that the pieces have never even been broken off of the screws. And he sends me a message. Is this game complete? I'm like, did you even read the description? Did you even look at the photographs? I mean, I get no respect from these buyers. Right. So, Rodney Dangerfield, no respect board game. I never even knew Rodney Dangerfield put out a board game. Fortunately, it's not very valuable. It's not a very fun game either, from what I did research on. It sold for $15 for us. It came in a stack of board games that I paid $10 for. I got one game in there that's worth $200. I'm still waiting for it to sell. It eventually will. I had somebody hit me some questions on it, so it's just a matter of time until it sells. One of Jen's soda bottles sold, a vintage Fanta with still some vintage Fanta soda in it. Kind of what they call the beehive, I want to say, is what they kind of refer to this as, where it's ribbed like this. This sold for $15.25. I sold a t-shirt. I don't sell a lot of clothing, but this is a vintage Buccaneers. This is a kid's youth size small. Very hard item to sell. This actually might have come on something else that I bought, like a doll or something, and not as it is. But this sold for $11.85, and I've had this in my store a long time. That was not a fast seller, but most kids' vintage clothing is gonna be tough because most of the people that wear vintage clothing.
One that we got for a quarter sold relatively super quick.
It was a larger size though, I think, and it did go to Japan. So, This is the Doobie Brothers on cassette, sold for $5.66. I've got a massive, really good cassette tape. A lot that I need to get around to set listing. It's gonna freaking, I think it's gonna sell great as soon as I get around to listing it. This Decoy Duck we got from an estate sale where we got some amazing art for our personal collection. This finally sold, but they did send me a question, so I don't know if they wanted to know what size it was, but at least they bought it first and then asked, because I hate digging something out and then being ghosted. So they seem serious. This sold for $44.99, but maybe after I sent them the message, they may want to cancel if it's not big enough, I guess. I don't know. We'll wait to hear back before we decide to ship it out to them. Model T Ford Bad Man sold for $5.99. And then Oh Brother Where Thou Art Thou, the George Clooney, John Turturro, and John Goodman movie soundtrack sold for $4.85. And then Dylan and the Dead sold for $2.95. You would think Bob Dylan and the Grateful Dead collab CD would have sold for a lot more money, but it's been in my store forever. Sold a sealed copy of Wicked Games for $23.24. Sold a copy of The Association Greatest Hits. I've never heard of that group. Definitely a 70s vibe, 60s, 70s era. Oh, that sold for $5.99. I went to a yard sale, and this was the only thing I bought from that yard sale was this realistic looking cat plushie for $1 with a bell. Oh, maybe it's 50 cents. I just thought he was too darn cute. He sold for $9.99. Actually, I went through my store the other day and found he was unlisted, so he just now got relisted. Probably within the last 2 months. My friend's like, oh, these things are really popular. Don't you remember these? These were so cool. And I guess I do not remember these things. These are from 2007, so I thought they were a lot older. She made it sound like these were from the 90s. But these are like, they look like berries. Almost like, I think they were trying to cash in on the Pokemon thing. Whenever they pop into a ball and then pop out into like some kind of plush animal. There's like 5 different, I don't know, varieties or flavors of these things. And some lady said she was trying to find these for her daughter for Christmas or her birthday or something, and asked me if I had any of the other ones. And I said, sadly, this is the only one that I got. And I'm like, I don't ever come across them, so I don't know if I'd ever see them again. It sold for $18.99. So let me know if you remember those, because I have no recollection of those. I think my son would have probably been right about that age when those came out to buy those, but I think we were all into the Pokemon for them. This is a Spawn Nitro Rider series. So pretty much these little figurines came with these like really rad motorcycles. This sold for $24.99. Sold this Vinylmation Nerds Daisy character, which Daisy is, out of the Fab Five, Daisy is the least popular character, I think. So she sold for, is she even part of the Fab Five? I don't even think she gets classified as the Fab Five.
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy,
Pluto. So she would be the Fab Six then, I guess.
Yeah. Already mentioned.
And then, anywho, she sold for $9.52. Then we got Jen's big sale. we sold some more of these luggage tags. I gotta figure out which one's what. I don't know. I'm just gonna show you these. I'll figure it out when I go to figure them out. But these are luggage tags. Jen bought a whole tub about this. Probably might have even been this tub that was full of these. And we sold one lot for $199. And we sold another lot for $99. And how much did you pay for all of them?
$15.
So she paid $15 for this whole bin full of these, and then she separated them out into smaller lots. We already sold one right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, we bought this lot.
Yeah.
That was
We didn't list them right away, though.
I think it was the same time I got the Hot Wheels thing. It might have been the same day.
Jeff told me not to buy them.
I told her not to buy them. But does she listen to me? Nope. I was like, those things ain't gotta be worth nothing.
Lies.
I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong. This little brooch sold. It's just a white brooch. I don't know if it's signed by anybody. Monette, I guess it's signed, so it must be signed. Sold for $13.49. I sold a ginger jar. Oh, glad this thing is gone. This took up a bunch of shelf space. This is from Target, maybe? No, got something on there. That sold for $41.48. And another soda bottle. I was not going to list this. This thing is in horrible shape. It came in a lot of bottles that I got. But this is Vest Soda. And I could not find this label anywhere available for sale online. There were some solds in the past of like $100 for this bottle. No, $50 for this bottle. Since none were currently listed, I decided to go ahead and list it, even though it is in horrible shape. The bottle itself's pretty clean, but just the label is pretty worn off, and it's still sold for $9.28. And as of right now, the last thing that we have is this really delicate, I don't know what you want to call it, a perfume bottle, I guess. It is, I guess you put it in there and you dab your perfume on you. Very petite gold. There's a little worn in a couple of spots on it. But this sold for $13.94. So that's everything we've got going out here on this Monday. Hopefully we'll get a lot of it packed up and out the door. So keep hustling, everyone.